I'm Scott Stratton. I just came on board about 2 weeks ago. I've been doing woodworking for about 20 plus years now.
Don't mess it up.
So when Steve reached out asking for some help, I don't live far from here, so I sent him an email. He responded back. We met. It seemed like it was going to be a good fit, and here I am.
This week, while Steve finishes work on the cockpit cabinet for the nav gear and starts the saloon table, Scott's first project is to finish off the skylight for the forward hatch.
Usually I'm out there remodeling houses, doing kitchen builds, basement outfits. I used to build custom log homes. So coming into here and doing this custom carpentry and boat building is a complete new experience to me.
You do not possess Steve's magical pencils with unbreakable lead.
Ben will edit it out and it'll look like I have a magical pencil too.
As of right now, I'm just doing some woodwork on the fore hatch for the Skylight. He plans on throwing me inside to do some more woodworking on the interior, which I'm very excited about, and just trying to get this finished up to meet the launch date. What's that?
My great-grandfather did that.
What do you mean? What is that?
So when this maple tree used to be in the front yard,
Yeah.
and this is where a branch grew out,
He cut the branch off.
and he cut the branch off,
It just kept growing. That's awesome.
and then it healed over.
Amazing.
Yeah. So we found these in this maple tree and in the spruce for the mass.
Yeah.
And these are all buried, the bark's out here somewhere,
Yeah.
deep enough in the tree that somebody did that 50, 60 years ago, which would have been my great-grandfather. And if he hadn't have done that, this branch would continue out through, and this probably would have become a big rust pocket.
Thanks, Grandpa.
Great-grandpa.
Thanks, Great Grandpa. What was his name?
Fred
Fred?
Wilson.
Shout out to Fred.
Just like that. One more.
Yeah, I described this one. It fits pretty well. I'll wait until the final honing, until the door aid box is mounted, and I can do the last little touches of the two of them. But as you can see, it's really close.
Mm-hmm.
Close enough to get the door aid in.
nice. Looks good.
Yeah, we can do the final touch up. Yeah, looks pretty good. Is it gonna work or is it gonna fall out?
Oh, you got space.
Space.
You had about an inch left.
So that'll give me a flat face to run on the table.
Yeah.
So otherwise these would mess it all up. I'll do the other ones later. Let's go see if we can cut that off.
So about the knee brace here. A few weeks back, Steve, in an attempt to relax for a weekend, got the worst of a hit and run on the ski slopes and twisted his knee pretty good. And just so you know, the MRI came back just fine, and it's just a contusion, and he's definitely on the mend, and it has, of course, hardly slowed him down at all.
All right, so now that we got all of our dovetails cut, I'll give you an example of how this is gonna work. This sits over the top of here when this is all back together, and ultimately this is gonna be hinged and it's gonna lift up so they can get in and out, drop stuff down, whatever they wanna do. My next step now is to get all of this on the same plane together so it's all nice and sitting well. And then I have to lay out the rabbet for the acrylic to sit into. That's gonna go along this edge and along that edge. And we'll place the acrylic into the top, make some trim pieces for it, and that'll somewhat complete this for the time being.
With the nav cabinet at a stage where it can be handed off to someone else to finish, Steve moved on to the design and execution of the saloon table.
I don't have the swing.
Oh no.
Yeah, I'll do it with the jigsaw. It's not worth it. Now I gotta figure out the level of the sole, because I know the sole's not level. I gotta figure out if I build all this square, if I build all this at an angle, or...
Maybe build it to the level of the bench.
Yeah, or to the bunk.
Yeah.
I gotta compare the levels of them all and figure out what to build to.
Okay, we keep trying. Okay, so I dropped a bit into the bilge. Way down in there. Well, I couldn't get it, and Steve couldn't get it. So, Aaron, you're up next. But we did get some cash. Big thing of electrical tape, free wood, carpenter square, carriage bolt, and nut. I'd say that's a win.
Sweet. Can't clamp that down anymore. Cubbies. So that means that would go in there. What are we saying? 32 to 34 is like comfortable table height?
Yeah.
Somewhere in there. It's coming.
Yeah. Looks good. Nice.
Cool.
How are you going, sir? Excuse me?
Help me assemble this and see how it looks, and then take it apart, and you can take it with
I
you.
was gonna say it's not gonna fit through the sander like this.
Okay, good enough. All right, you ready? Let's leave it on the saw first. Just a tip. There's the Saloon table.
Ooh, interesting. I'm not sure what that shape would be, but it's not perfectly oval.
No, and it's not. It's funky,
Yeah.
but
What's the?
this lines up with the settee.
Yep.
And then this lines up with the bulkhead for the head.
Okay.
And then this follows the taper of the workbench and the settee aft. So that basically you have the
Yeah.
same amount of room all the way around it. So
Yeah.
there's not really any like real tight pitch point.
But then it's also asymmetrically skewed this way, so there's a little bulge here
Yeah.
just to maximize the surface area. Or,
Yeah, and to let you go into the fore peak easier because that's going to be your way around.
Nice.
I'm going to get it in the boat. I'm going to drill a hole in here and then cock the table at a couple comfortable degrees
Yep.
and chase it through,
Yep. Nice.
and it'll stop like that.
Yeah. So what's that hitting on? Okay, it's just hitting up. Or it's hitting on the clamp right now,
But if you
Yeah.
imagine if you want to get on the settee side,
but yeah.
you put it towards the workbench and you have full room.
Yeah.
And then if you are like bringing a bunch of stuff into the fore peak, you go the other way,
Yeah.
and you got a ton of room. And then we obviously have the cubby.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's another cap to go in here.
Okay.
And then these are going to become USB charging ports.
Nice. Okay.
So you plug right into the top of it.
Alright, so you're gonna run the power down through the base.
Yeah, we'll run it underneath.
Yep.
And then we'll probably run it down your aft leg.
Yep.
Because you're not really going to see that.
And then will this be easily removable or
No.
just it's locked in?
It's
This-
locked
you
in.
Just basically.
And that's part of the reason with making the tabletop tilt.
Yep.
And then also, if you take out the bolt and the pin and the bolt and the pin, the tabletop just comes out, and
Yeah.
you're just left with this post that's left.
Okay, that's not bad.
So I don't think no.
By late morning the next day, the pieces of the table had been run through the sander, and Steve had finished a bit more work on the cubby and the charging ports.
Great.
Beautiful.
Well done.
I'm Scott.
I'm David, by the way.
Nice to meet you.
You too.
All right, so you're gonna finish up the head today?
Sure. I'll get down there.
It seems simple, frame in a doorway, but yeah, nothing's square. You got to be able to get the pan out the bottom for the shower. You got to be able to move the center posts and the panels so that you can take the water tank out of there without real demolition. It's got to be watertight for when you take a shower. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got all this?
Well, yeah. I was doing the math the other day. I was like, I've been living this since like about a month and a quarter.
Oh.
Just little tiny time slices, and then
Yeah.
coming back saying, okay, I think I got this. I think I get this.
Dreaming about it at night.
Yeah. Well, it helps fall asleep. But anyway.
With warmer weather coming, Steve made the call to take down the plastic covering over the boat.
Hey, there's a boat in here.
If the temperature drops a bit again, now that the port lights are in, the interior of the boat is easy enough to heat. But with the tent out of the way, the pitch between the deck planks can finally get cleaned up, and afterwards the tow rails can be attached to the bronze brackets. And on the upstairs workbench, Scott was making progress on the lid of the forehatch. The acrylic was cut, leaving a little room for expansion and contraction, and he was on to fitting all the trim pieces.
Alright, now that we got the half lap joints all done, everything seems to be fitting up nice. A little bit of cleanup. Starting to look like a skylight. So that's gonna sit in like that. Acrylic will sit over it like this. Cap goes over it. Trim pieces like that. These ones will go on like that. So we got small bronze that's gonna go on here just to cover up that lip a little bit, let the water run off. Time for a final disassemble, and we can start putting this thing together and getting it finished.
To make room inside for gluing up the skylight, Steve, David, and Scott carried the finished cockpit back out to the boat. This and many other pieces of Arabella make progress next week when even more help arrives to Granby.
If we're ever doing anything with oil rags or solvent rags, that's what this is about. So you just put them in there, and then if this happens to catch fire, it's a pretty safe spot and someone will see it.
Ready?
Yep.
1, 2, 3, go. So I've been following along with the Arabella build since almost day one. I remember watching and him asking for help for pouring the keel, and then all of the planking that he was doing and following along with this whole thing. So what are we going on, almost 7 years now that I've been watching this. So coming here and seeing it in person was very exciting for me. Walking through these doors and seeing it on video, and then just like seeing the boat in real life and meeting Steve, it was amazing. So yeah, to be part of the launch is gonna be like super exciting. I can't wait to be following this thing down the road and just seeing it get to the marina and to the dock that we're gonna be shipping it out of. So, and hopefully it stays afloat after all this hard work.
You too, brother.
The 17th, right?
Yeah.
We're correct. 128 days. Yep.